This is my Arturia Minilab MK2. I really love this keyboard. It's come in clutch so many times, and in this video I just want to show appreciation to all the MIDI keyboards because I feel like they are really well respected and they are good, but we don't really show as much love to these keyboards as much as we should. And for me recently, I've really been having fun with my keyboard, and I just wanted to make this video to just kind of explain to some of those that might be thinking twice about keyboards. Maybe you don't have one and you're thinking about buying a MIDI, or maybe you do even have a MIDI keyboard but you're just not into it in your workflow. You're just not really incorporating these keyboards into your workflow. For me, I love mine. This has been a really amazing one to use. I feel like I've done so much work with this keyboard than I've ever had with any other keyboard I've used before in the past. So this video is not for me to praise this model itself from Arturia, but it's just for me to praise just MIDI keyboards and how they can help us in our workflow. So a lot of people, like I said, I know they don't really use keyboards as much in their workflow. I even see other people like just use their mouse in production and doing all those things while the MIDI keyboard is right there, and I'm just in there like, dude, you could have saved so much time if you just use your MIDI keyboard. Because one misconception a lot of people have is that to have a MIDI keyboard you have to learn how to play keys and play keys like a master pianist or things like that, which I totally disagree with. I'm not saying you cannot do that, you can definitely do that, but I feel like these ones are made for people like us, people who are not trying to play like super complex songs and things like that. We're just out here to try and compose and just press a couple of keys, use the pads, use the knobs a little bit and compose some cool music and keep it going like that. That's how I use mine in my workflow. So let me connect this and then we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna show you how exactly I use this keyboard and how I make my composition easier as opposed to me just using a mouse. So a mouse is cool. If that's your thing, that's totally your thing. I'm totally okay with that, because at the end of the day you must be happy with the music you're making. But for me, I just want to show you that with a keyboard you can save so much time, and I find that certain composition methods are super easier when I just use the keyboard itself. And this goes when composing your drums and also composing any other instrument that you're using. So I have a project that I opened up here where I have a beat idea. It sounds like this. So when I'm making music, the first thing I like to do is work on my drums. So you can already see here I have drums laid out. So like these are the drums that I have that I played in this beat, and they are super simple. Like I have a kick and I have some shakers and I have some sounds here. So that's how I normally do it. So I usually like to build up my drums as I go so that I have the groove of the beat first and I do all that. So one thing I can do sometimes is I can just create a pattern region like this, and then I just use these steps so I can fill in these steps as I go. Boom boom, using the mouse obviously, and I can just fill in steps and then I do what I do. So if you're using any other DAW, especially FL Studio, you have the step sequencer, that's what you do and you're good. And if you don't like anything you can just easily switch it up and change it like this, and you're good to go. So that's one method you can use, to compose your drums. But for me, sometimes I like to just play the drums on the keyboard. I find it super easy. So what I do is I play and then I just start to freestyle on the keyboard, something I like. And then I keep changing it up until I play something that I really like. And then I just record it in and then it's done. Just like that. I like what I played there, so now I'm just going to record it. So press record. There, and it's done. And then all I can just do now is just quantize, boom, and then I just make it loop like that, and then it's done. And then it's done. I was doing all the editing that I could have done with the mouse that I did previously and all that on the fly as I'm playing to kind of adjust the way I was playing that sound itself. And then, I did it. And then after I was happy with what I was playing, I just recorded it. So you saw how I was just playing one note. It wasn't super complicated. You don't really have to be a super experienced piano player to just compose just like this. It saves so much time, because now when you do like 1,000 clicks just to get to this simple piece of composition, it saves you so much time if you just use your keyboard, because it's sitting right there. So that's when it comes to drums. But all methods are valid. Don't get me wrong, both methods are totally valid. It's just up to you and how you like to work. So now I've got this sound in, I can move on to the next sound. So it's just a hat sound. So I play again. So I like how I played there. Let me start recording. I like that, and then again I'm gonna quantize. I keep going like that. So I love doing that with my drums because I can compose super easy. I play, I have fun also while just playing and freestyling and seeing what I can make. It feels really good for me. And all these drum sounds I'm using, by the way, that you're listening to, you can find them in the link down below. You need to have amazing drums and good quality drums to make good quality music. So make sure to check the link that is down below and make sure that you guys can have these same sounds that I use to make this awesome music, so your music can also sound super awesome. But let's continue now. Let's move on to stuff like synthesizers and things like that. So when we get to instrument sounds, we can create a MIDI region like that. And then after you create a MIDI region, now you want to maybe make a melody. So let me just stretch this out and make this bigger. So when you're trying to create a melody, you got to think about your root note. Be like, okay, what root note am I starting with, and things like that. So when you're thinking about your root note, you kind of need to now start to think about your music theory a little bit. Be like, okay, what root note am I going to play in? Is it going to be a minor? Is it going to be a major? And things like that. You start to go crazy with that. But let's just keep it totally simple and not super complicated things. So yeah, you just want to start with any random note. So now you can just create a note like boom, and then you want to hear that note as well, right? So you're gonna play it. So then you play it, and then you're like, you know what, maybe I don't like it, maybe I want to change it, and you know, you move it. And then you want to add another one, so you can create note, or you can just copy the first one. And I'm gonna bring this one up. And I'm going to create another one. Okay, so I've got a simple melody here, and I'm just going to loop it so it keeps on repeating. So you see how long that took me, right? But what I could do as an alternative to that using the keyboard is I just play. So those was like simple notes. I didn't even play like a chord there. They were just simple notes. So what I just do in this moment is I just create my loop like this, and I just start playing notes. So what's nice is that I can hear. So that I don't have to keep moving one note up and down on the keyboard here with my mouse. I can just literally just touch the notes. Now I can play something and, you know, change it up just like I did with the drums until I find something I like. So I can just practice. I like that, so I'm going to go ahead and record it. Okay, I messed up right there. Let me start again. Done. And then I'm done. Now all I just have to do is quantize and maybe play around with some velocities and things like that. But do you see how just playing it like that is super quick and easy? Sometimes just take some time to practice on your keyboard how to just come up with melodies. Playing single notes, like just use 2 fingers only and just... It's that simple, and then you can just press record and hit it. I just wanted to show MIDI keyboard some love, not necessarily the one I'm using right now, because you might have a certain keyboard that you're using that is MIDI, and you have something else that is different from mine. And I just want you to, you know, to play around with it more, because we don't get this kind of encouragement a lot of the times. And if you're also thinking of buying a MIDI keyboard, you can take a look and try out a MIDI keyboard. I actually believe that buying a MIDI keyboard should be the first thing that you do before you buy anything else for your, you know, for your setup for music. Before you buy anything else after buying your computer, I would recommend buying a MIDI keyboard. Before you buy an audio interface or even studio monitors or even a microphone, things like that, a MIDI keyboard, if you compose, should be the first thing that you buy. That's my recommendation. But you guys, let me know what y'all think. Do you really appreciate your keyboard? How does it help you in your workflow when you're making music? Let me know down below. And again, if you need anything that I use to make music, you can check the links that are down below for my templates and my drum kits. They are super awesome. You can hear the music that I make with all this stuff. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate y'all support. I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. I'm X and I'm out. Peace.